they're going to be able to scream whatever they want. And it was like, I mean,
but you know what's like, which honestly, this is where too, I think to the point that the gentleman was making earlier is, that's not just crazy talk for women, that's crazy talk for men too. So I do think this is something where our audiences can be much
broader.
Yeah. About just how could people with those kinds of attitudes be making decisions that, you know,
to even drive a car.
Well, there's that. There's that.
Now, what's your guys' schedule? You have something you're popping to?
We're going to a... Well, sorry, I kept like loud. Okay.
Oh, Nora's on it. Okay.
Yeah. Nora's the watcher.
I was helping you.
I appreciate it.
It's okay. Do you mind if I have it?
Oh, that's okay.
No, but I do think it's an incredibly powerful medium. I mean, every single issue we have seen, whether, and Hobby Lobby is a perfect example. 6 months ago, most people in this country had no idea that Hobby Lobby sold arts and craft supplies, and now every single person I talk to knows about the Hobby Lobby decision, and that was completely because of social media. It was because in the day that that decision broke, I looked at the graph of our Facebook impressions, it was off the chart. So again, I think it may not be glamorous, but I really do believe in the power of women sharing stories with other women, sharing stories with other women, and the power that it, and the ripple effect.
Do you see, and you've been at this a while, do you notice a generational...
That's making me feel so old. If people keep saying that I've been in politics a long time, and
well, I have too.
Whatever, so that's okay. All right, I'll wear it with pride. Yes, as a babe in the woods.
As a babe in the woods.
Yeah.
Have you perceived a generational change? Do you see a divide between women who were activists before Roe v. Wade and after? And because there's a generation now of adults that does not know or remember pre-Roe v. Wade days. And do you see them becoming more active, and why? What's doing it?
Well, I think it's two, so I have a couple of thoughts. One is a question that was asked earlier about that it's no longer, I think the original women's movement, and God love my mother and a lot of other women who were involved in that was about asserting a right. And I think women now, young women, think of it much more as a question of access. It's because they assume it's a right, but then it's a question of, well, actually, but can I get access? Whether it's to a safe and legal abortion, whether it's, I mean, polling shows that young women believe that abortion should be available in their community. I mean, it's very personal. How is this going to impact me? And what we've seen on the birth control fight is that has enraged and engaged young women because they're on birth control, and the thought that someone was actually going to now either take it away from them or tell them that they can't get it or that they can't go to Planned Parenthood. I mean, that was a huge mistake I thought the House of Representatives made, which is they personalized it when they voted to defund Planned Parenthood, if you will. That was where young women and young men said, whoa, 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 well, that's actually where I go to for care. So I think that is a bit of the shift. I think the only other piece that to me has been exciting as an organizer is to see that so many young men are involved in these issues as well. That in the olden days, my father wasn't marching with my mother about these issues. Maybe that should have been an indication of something else, but it was my mother and her friends that were marching for women's rights. And I look at my 3 kids, and I have my son Daniel I'd love to talk about because it was his, he was never that involved in anything until Planned Parenthood was getting defunded, and then he texted me from college saying, I'm in a van with kids going to Ohio to rally for Planned Parenthood. And that's when I knew, okay, game over. This is a movement now. And then he, of course, became the vice president of his reproductive rights group at Allegheny College, and they fought for and got birth control finally, prescribing it on campus. So I think that's the other exciting thing, is that it's no longer just women's obligation, or we've got a lot of other allies in the fight.
Okay, Nora has to take her. Gavin, where?